guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm your niche coach, Alicia Lester, and today on Get Your Shit Together, we're going to talk about feelings and being vulnerable. We're definitely going to talk about feelings and being vulnerable. Before I get started, I need you definitely to subscribe. That way you guys can continue to receive all the messages, all the notifications on what's coming, new videos, and all of that. I need you guys to like, subscribe, share. Tell somebody else about it. Send it to somebody. If you feel like it's not something that is for, if the message isn't for you, send it to somebody else. If you feel like it can, kind of benefit them in some kind of way. So I appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch the video. As my followers grow, I'll be able to go live. Until then, that's okay. Just go back and watch the video. Click like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm always, interested in the comments and things like that. Talk to me. I'll talk back always. Well, let's get started. So I wanted to talk about emotions first. They're okay. Emotions are okay to have. Being vulnerable is okay. You can be vulnerable without feeling like a punk, or without feeling weak, or without, just feeling like you're not at the top of your game. Like, it's okay. You have emotions and you're vulnerable at times because you're human. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel certain things. I know what it's like to put up a wall, as if you don't want to be emotional, you don't want to cry, you don't want anybody to see that you are weak. A lot of people kind of associate crying with being weak. It's not. Some people cry because they're strong. Some people cry before they whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that just because a person cries, or just because a person gets sad, those are emotions. Those are normal emotions that everybody should have. They just should. It's, you pick and choose when you want to present them. Sometimes they take over so much that you can't control them. Sometimes our emotions can get in the way. I know sometimes you hear people say, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Well, of course, quite naturally, their real heart isn't on their sleeve. It's just a saying. It just means that, like, I love out loud. I just love you, and I'm okay with showing it. Like, it's right here. My love for you is right here. My love for this situation is right here. And I'm not trying to hide it. So I wear it out there so other people can see it. And that wasn't always the case for me. A lot of times my heart was never on my sleeve, honey. It was tucked up so far up in my shirt that, hell, even I couldn't find it. But I had to realize that showing that vulnerability and showing that I had emotions, it made people respond and react differently to me. I had a tough upbringing. My family dynamic was tough. You knew to be tough. There was no punks in the house. And punks kind of identify with weak, like being weak. That's what it was. And so it wasn't until I got older, like, I knew growing up that I had these emotions and these feelings and things like that, but I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know where to put them. I didn't know how to display them. I didn't know where they were supposed to go. We didn't cry in my home. Hell, we didn't even say I love you in my home. You just knew it. We didn't say good job in my home. We didn't. You just knew that if that person did a good job, cool. There were expectations. That was it. It was just expectations. But there were very, very little emotions. I remember one emotion that stuck out the most, and that was just anger. You could be angry, you could be mad, you could be upset, anger and laughter. It was so weird that there weren't any in-between emotions in there. It was anger or it was hella laughter. Like, that's how my upbringing was. But it took me to get grown to understand my emotions. And then once you have these emotions, you have to now try to figure out how to keep them in check. You have to keep your emotions in check. If not, then you're just acting out all over the place. You're just spazzing out and tripping out all over the place. I wanted to make sure that I was keeping my emotions in check because I didn't want to make a fool out of myself. I didn't want to be out here looking crazy. I didn't want to be the topic of anybody's discussion because I'm flipping out or because I'm acting a fool or anything like that. So I've always been one to be able to check my emotions at the door. So it doesn't mean that I don't have any emotions. I just don't react to things a certain, like everyone else does. But when it's time to cry, I cry. When it's time to feel, I feel. When it's time to love, I love you. But not having those emotions while growing up made it very, very hard, especially with my parenting, because I wasn't one for hugs and kisses and public displays of affection, such as, holding hands and kissing in public or hugging in public and things like that. I wasn't one for that. I didn't see a reason. I didn't see a reason for it. If you know I love you, we don't have to walk out holding hands. Like, we don't have to do all that. Like, I'm good. I'm cool. I can walk. I can grab my door. I'm cool. I got it. I'm okay. But it wasn't like that. It was about showing the other person that you appreciate him or her, or that you adore them. You love them so much that you want to be touched by them. You want to be loved by them. Showing your children that you can be vulnerable and that you do love them. Showing them that, just a healthy love language, a healthy understanding of how to get through the day, or how to get through being scared or being unhappy or being mad or sad, or, all that kind of stuff. Instead of dealing with it like, oh, wait, okay, oh, well. That's how I dealt with everything. Okay, oh, well. But did you die? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of like that approach. And I just realized that is not at all what I wanted. The later in my mother's years, she started to become more affectionate, more hugs, more kisses, more I love yous, all of that. And I remember the first time my mom not the first time, but one time she had came to hug me, and I was like, ooh, girl, watch out. I thought mama was coming at me. It was so crazy. I didn't really ball my fist up, but I just kind of like jumped a little bit because I thought she was coming at me, because she just wasn't that kind of a person. She wasn't that huggy, kissy. She wasn't that. She was not that at all. And so to see her coming at me, I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect. But she was simply coming in for a hug, and we embraced, and I liked it. I liked the way it felt. I hadn't really felt that on a consistent level before at all. Not from mama at all. And so we started to do more of that. More of the I love yous and the kisses and the hugs before departing, before leaving, before coming, when we come together and all of that. And I just remember that sticking out, like, damn, mama do have feelings. She does have emotions. She do. Mama would cry when she would get angry. That's when she would cry. Or she would have to be extremely sad about somebody passing or something happening or something like that. Mama just didn't cry because she loved you. She didn't do any of that until she got older. Once she got older, then it was like, wow, I saw a completely different side of her. And so I liked that side so much. I knew that there were some things about myself that I needed to change also. I needed to be that same person for my son. I need to hug him and kiss him and embrace him and love on him. It was okay to love on him. In a relationship with your mate or your partner, it was okay to love him and to kiss him and to, hug him in person and to hold his hand. A lot of times I didn't do the public display of affection because I didn't want to look like a fool later on. Now here I am out hugging and kissing and touching on you, and then somebody called my phone later saying that you be hugging and kissing and, on them. I didn't like that, and I didn't want that, so I just didn't do it. I didn't do anything that would put me in a position to be made a fool out of. And it took me to get into a real healthy relationship to understand that I was safe. So it all boiled down to security and stability, safety for me. I needed that level of safety to know that I was his and his only. Not that I'm yours today. I needed to be yours and yours only for the duration of our relationship. I needed that. And so I can say I've probably let a lot of relationships go by. Honey, I wasn't hugging, I wasn't kissing, barely anything else, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, I don't know who all you with. I don't know who all you talk to. I don't want anybody calling me later on saying that you with them. And it was just about me guarding my heart. I was always going to guard my heart. And then I just grew up. I grew up one day and I was like, you know what? Relationships are about taking chances. It is about the choices that you and that person make. But more than anything, it was just about, just having faith and trusting and knowing that this person is for you. And you don't have to stop being you because of who they are. You don't have to stop and, all of that. If they choose to cheat or lie or leave or whatever, that's fine, but don't change who you are. Continue to be who you are. If you're an affectionate person, continue that affection. You just find someone to be affectionate with. If you are a giving person, a kind person, continue to be that. Don't change that. Don't change that because that person isn't. Maybe that person just hadn't found a safe space yet. Maybe you don't provide a safe enough space for him or her. And I know that now in relationships. I don't think I was ever provided a safe enough space for me to be that comfortable. So I knew that played a huge part in it, but I'm so happy that I was able to find that, because it's very, very important. Your kids, it's so important for your kids to see healthy, I love yous, and healthy love languages, and healthy, you know what I'm saying? Like healthy touches, loving touches, affection, all that, when you didn't come from that, you don't really understand that. And it's not the person's fault that raised you. Oftentimes it's just that that's what they come from. And sometimes people can only give you what they have. They don't know enough to give you anything else. Now, some people are blessed with the idea that I did not have this, but I want it, so I'm going to do it. Some people just get that right off the back. It took me years. It took me all the way into my 30s. So look at all the hugs and kisses and I love yous and all those things that I probably missed out on because I didn't feel safe. So when you have people in your life, make them feel safe. Not on some I'm going to BS them type stuff, but just on some, on some real person to person kind of stuff. If you're feeling this person, show them, tell them, appreciate them. Give them what they need. Give them what they seek. Give them what you want. Some people don't give affection and they're not looking for any in return either. I don't want that person. That's just me though. I personally don't want that person because I want someone to want me. I want someone to love me. I want someone to appreciate me. I want someone to understand that I am there solely for the purpose of them and loving them. You know what I'm saying? So don't let people talk you out of being vulnerable. It's okay. Because there's a way to be vulnerable without giving it all away. You don't have to give it all away. You have to be careful and then there are some situations where you do have to be careful being vulnerable. You do. If you just got out of a relationship and a long-term relationship, and now all of a sudden you find yourself single and you're sad and you're used to being with someone and now you're too afraid of being alone. Sometimes predators can prey on that level of vulnerability that you have, and they'll slip right on in the door. But you have to know before that, it's like, man, I just got out of a relationship. I just left my children's mother, my child's father, and I just want somebody. Now, there's being vulnerable and there's just being just damn crazy. Now, don't be crazy enough to where you just take anybody and accept anything because you're used to having something. Don't do that. There's so many children born out of rebound relationships. It's crazy. There's so many relationships due to rebounding that it's crazy. Give yourself a moment. Give yourself a moment to understand and figure out where things went wrong, why things went wrong. Check yourself about certain things. Open your eyes to things when you're looking at other people. Sometimes we overlook things that we know is already there. But because we want someone so bad to be in our lives that we'll just kind of turn a blind eye to it and act as if, it's not really, it's nothing. Oh, it's okay. It's nothing. Find your deal breakers. Find whatever your deal breakers are and stick with them. My deal breakers are you can't cheat on me, you can't hit me. Look how much other fun you can have. God damn it. But you can't hit me and you cannot cheat on me. Those are just my things. So everybody is different. Everybody's different. I know what it's like. I know what both of those feelings are like, and I don't like them. Well, no. I don't know what it's like to be hit, but I know what it's like to be in manipulative relationships. I know what it's like to, other types of abuse. I've never had physical abuse in my life at all, but other types of abuse. Abuse just doesn't come at the end of a fist. It doesn't. It come in words. It come in honey, it can come in all, it could be mental, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it could be all kind of stuff. Child, I had one that said that he knew the whole Bible, and he probably did, but he must have left that joker by the time he got to me. Because honey, none of that had anything to do with the Lord. None of what he was saying. But that manipulation, had I listened to what he was saying, had I gone after him while he was saying all those things to me, I would have just been caught up in a dizzy little triangle like others. I would have been caught up in that. But I knew enough to know that that's not what I wanted for my life. And none of it sound right. It didn't make sense to me, because the Lord can't tell. He's not going to tell you something about me without revealing it to me. Like, that don't even make sense. Like, how he just going to tell you some shit about me and not tell me at all, and send you to tell me and try to push that off onto my life. So when you just think about those kinds of things, you'll know vulnerability. Also, you'll also know when you just being just crazy and rebounding. Don't allow rebounding to make the rules. Don't do that. Give yourself time to heal. Figure out what it is that you need in your life. Figure out what it is that you want in your life so you can have a healthy life, healthy relationship, healthy marriage, healthy parenting, healthy friendships, healthy partnerships. You know what I'm saying? Like, those kinds of things are super, super important. There's just so many areas that a person can kind of slip in and manipulate. You don't want that. You definitely don't want that. But I'm so excited when I see people that are taking the steps toward healing for themselves. You heal for yourself, shit, you could be the best person for somebody else. And all that manipulation and all that kind of stuff, it'll fall at your feet, because you don't put up with that kind of stuff. You don't take that kind of stuff in. You don't live your life like that. So craziness don't come to me, because I don't live my life like that. I don't do anything that opens up, that leaves holes where those kinds of things can get into my life or get into my world. You damn sure not about to get in here and screw up my mind. So, you can't do that. So when I talk about vulnerability, there's still levels to it. But as far as being vulnerable about, like letting someone love you, now this is people that truly want to love you now, not just some old anything or some old fly by night type shit that just came out of nowhere. I'm talking about people that truly want to love you, that truly appreciate you, people that truly want to see you win. Those are good things. Though it's okay to be vulnerable then. Don't allow the last person to kill it for them. Let them in. It's okay. There's certain things in relationships that just has to, just come. Some of us are so afraid to get into relationships, but you'll close yourself down and you'll close yourself out. Don't do that. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you might get your little feelings hurt a little bit, but that now you know what it is that you like and don't like and all of that. That's why before I met my husband, I would date. I would go on multiple dates. I learned you don't have to sleep with them just because you're dating them. Ta-da! I didn't realize that at first. Child, just giving up goods for no goddamn reason. But I realized that going on these dates, I was able to sit across from this person who may or may not have been my type, whatever. But I was able to talk, communicate, listen to what he said, give my input, and just now we're, and I could then at the end of the night, probably about mid-date, I knew if this was somebody that I would see again or not. But one thing I did not do throughout that entire date, I never led them to believe or led them to think that it would be anything one way or the other. We just here, we eating, we enjoying ourselves, we just talking, chit-chatting, and that's it. But I always knew if I was going to come back or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, or not. 9 times out of 10 probably or not. But there was some that, definitely was able to get a second date. But I just read your body language and your level of interest when it comes to me. Are you over talking me? Are you saying the things to me that you think I just want to hear? It's just those types of situations. But I can tell you what, having those emotions and being vulnerable, there's a level of vulnerability that you can just kind of gauge, and if the person that is in you, that you are talking to or that's in your life, is the right thing or the right person for you. And you know that because of the way it makes you feel, the way that they treat you. Are they putting you first? Are they, is the conversation one-sided? There's so many different things, so many things. But you got to take a chance on love and take a chance on forgiveness and growing and, just reaching your highest level. Take a chance on it. It's the most amazing feeling ever. And so I want you guys to just kind of step back and think about all of that. So think about being vulnerable and your emotions and all that. Emotions aren't bad. Being vulnerable isn't bad. It's bad people that prey on them. That's what makes it bad. Other than that, child, do your thing. Go on those dates, talk to people, meet a friend, have you some fun, eat you some food, have you a couple drinks. Child, do what you gotta do. When you find that right person, feel, enjoy it, embrace it. Shit, marry it. Do what you gotta do. But I thank you guys for taking the time out to talk to me for a second, or to let me talk to you for a second. I'm your niche coach, Alicia Lester. We're talking about emotions and vulnerability. Continue to dive into it. Get what you want to get out of it. See what's out there for you. Don't block it. Don't block it at all. Child, go get it. Go get it. It's okay. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open, honey. Ask and you shall receive. So do what it is that you got to do. And while you do that, child, I'm going to continue to do me. And we all going to continue to just get our shit together. Thank you. Have a great day.